So we're on.
Great.
And welcome. This is actually a huge experiment for us. I've actually done only one blab before in my entire life.
This is my first time.
It's your first time, and we've known each other with Ilona for a long time, and we've been thinking about like how to do things in a new way and differently, and we've been experimenting all kind of stuff in the social media, and now, well, this is the new experiment. So we're actually planning to host these 60 minutes, of which we have 55 left at the moment, and just talk, chat, discuss stuff. And if anyone wants to join us, you're okay. It's fine to leave us chat messages, or it says open seat below, so you can actually click that and actually join us to discuss if that feels like a good thing to do. So yeah, that's the idea. So yeah, actually our topic for today was well, we've been discussing it a little bit, influencer marketing in some ways.
Yes.
And especially like what's happening around influencer marketing. There is people who are called influencers, and there are other people who say that influencers, they're just like being narcissistic people who just want to get attention to themselves. And then there are other people who say that, you know, any company or brand, they should start creating like personas and personalities because people want to have dialogue with real people, etc. And it's a huge mess. So that's sort of like what we're agreed on starting to talk today.
Yeah. And I think I'm because actually you know about marketing, because that's your profession, and you've done a lot of brand marketing and stuff like that. And actually, I'm a psychologist, and I would say that I don't know anything about marketing, or I thought I don't know anything about marketing.
You do.
And now when we decided to have this conversation was because you saw my YouTube video about the psychology of influence.
Mm-hmm.
And then we started to discuss that, okay, could there be something that we could discuss? Because what I have been trying to do is that I've been trying to learn something about marketing, because nowadays I actually coach a lot of marketing and sales teams when they are trying to transform into marketing automation and content marketing and stuff like that. And that's why I'm now, because I find myself in these conversations where people are wondering that, okay, should I go to social media, and should I do this, and should I do this? And I feel that this influencer marketing, which you brought up, is something to do with these issues.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yes, absolutely. That's what it's. I don't know if it's all about that, but it's a lot to do that with. Okay, well, let's start with that. When you talk to people and they ask you, necessarily of like a leadership coach and
leadership trainer, and change coach. That is my profession.
So, do they feel like? It's a question like, do I have to? Is that what they are really asking? And why do they feel that it's so intimidating? I mean, like, it's the same thing as asking from my perspective, as asking a sales guy to go and meet a customer, and you would just say like, well, do I have to go and see the customers?
Yeah, and kind of the logic of influencing and getting the attention, it has changed, and it's changing so dramatically. So I personally think that everybody should learn their influencing skills, and I think that the best place to learn is to be involved in social media and discuss and do the dialogue there. But I oftentimes I find myself being very alone when I'm talking about these issues with people or with some of my networks.
Yeah. What do you answer people in general? Like if they ask like actually I think the question is like, do I have to?
Yeah. And okay, because some people say that, for example, about Facebook. Now people are struggling with the issue that should my Facebook be very like just for me, for my personal issues, or should I talk about my professional issues? Who should I accept as my friend in Facebook, and who should I not accept? And what issues should I be talking? And I often ask that. Okay, for example, if you go to a marketplace to buy fish, or you go to a grocery store or whatever place, it's your free time, right? You are. What was that?
I was just going blindly to it. There's money. Can I get some fish, please?
Okay. You are in your grocery store, or you are in your marketplace, or you are in Stockman, or whatever is your place where you buy your fish and your meat and your milk and everything. And if you see your client there, right, or somebody who you are, from your work, is it that you hide yourself, because you are in your free time? You don't talk, you don't tell who you are, you don't, talk anything about what's going on in your work. And I ask this question, do you act that way? And people say, no, it's of course we talk what is going on in your work and stuff like that. I said, right, yeah, that's what we do. We are part of the society as who we are, but also as professionals and what we represent in our work. So I find that social media, Facebook, whatever, it's a marketplace, even though it's digital. But now people think that it's somehow different than if I go to a cocktail party or a birthday party, and I should kind of have these very separately.
Yeah. There has been discussions about sort of like these roles in social media, whether like what's your private. It's sort of like this division between private, professional, and business. Whereas private means private, and professional means you as a professional, not necessarily doing business. If you're like if you're a sales professional, then you would be interested in like things related to selling, and then there is business, i.e. the company that you represent. And I have never, this is my personal opinion, I know everyone doesn't feel like it, but I have never felt like they're separate things, and I have never understood those people who sort of like start the social media accounts with their name and the company there. A good example for me is the chairman of a politician, a chairman of currently, I believe, our biggest party in Finland, Social Democratic Party. The Antti Rinne, their chairman, his Twitter account is called Antti Rinne PJ, meaning chairman. So it means that he's not going to use it after when he's not the chairman anymore. So
yes. Yeah.
I think I've never understood that sort of behavior, because it's like, am I not being social after this, or is it just because of the role?
Yeah. And also companies are struggling with, okay, are we going to go to social media? And then they think that then we have this social media department which takes care of us being in social media. And it's just like, okay, yeah, of course you are there as a company, but it doesn't have anything to do with you as a person, how you are going to create your ability to influence in the channels. And I think that everybody should do it. And why I'm so eager about it, to talking about it here in Finland, is that we, as a small country, as a very, very small country, we are 5 million people here. We need to learn how to build these digital channels.
Exactly. Exactly.
And it happens through social media and through internet. And for example, what we are doing here right now, we're talking about the issues that we are interested, so that people can find us.
Exactly.
And also we can find other people and relate with people who are interested in the same issues. For example, I'm a psychologist, you're a marketing specialist. Actually, we would say, what do we have in common? But we are both interested about influencing, because
That's true.
yeah, so we found that, okay, let's have a chat.
Yeah.
Let's talk.
Yeah. That's actually interesting. I attended a marketing automation marketing technology seminar a couple of days back. Earlier this week, I was in the panel discussion there, and one of the questions for the panel was like, and I actually continued the talk after the panel, even with the person who asked about it. It's like, how come there is no psychology involved in marketing? How come there are no neurosciences included in marketing? I actually had to answer that question and say, like, well, I sort of like work with psychologists once in a while, and I think marketing is psychology.
It is. That's what it all started.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
When they figured out that Freud understood something about how to influence people, and then they started to, learn from Freud.
Yeah. So yeah,
about unconscious persuasion and influencing, and that's how it all started. It's all about psychology, actually. Yeah.
Okay. Now, if we go to this thinking about and talk a little bit about influencers. Now, what is sort of like a trendy thing, and I actually believe it's even more than a trend in marketing, is that all the brands are told to bring up their own people and bring faces to the people, and people trust more people than brands, especially when you have to have dialogue on. It's more trustworthy about that. What do you think about that? Is that a good or bad advice? Do you have an angle on that?
You mean, is it a good or bad advice to just ask again?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Traditionally, companies have been sort of like faceless in a way that they just bring up the brand. Brand is the person that they sort of like communicate to the outer world, and then sometimes there are some really good reasons for that. For example, what if the person doesn't work for us any longer, etc., etc. So the brand people have been trying to hide the personalities within the companies, because there's no that relationship with the company and the person doesn't last forever. And but that has now changed in a way that now people are starting to tell that no, you should actually bring the real people in front of them, the customers and potential customers.
I believe so, because people follow people, right? People, we want to relate other people. We don't want to relate to products if we don't know what is the story behind or who is the person behind. And actually, I was looking from Wikipedia. How do they define influencer marketing? How would you define influencer marketing?
Wikipedia, the source and holy grail of all truth.
That's why I wanted to ask you first.
Yeah.
How do you define, when we are talking about influencer marketing, how do you define it? What is it?
Influencer marketing, in my opinion, and my definition is that influencer marketing is something marketers do in order to use well-known figures, well-known people who have who are known in some community and have maybe some authority there. So they're actually working together and using these people with authority to promote whatever they want to be promoted.
Yeah.
So that's how I would define it, very, very simply.
Yeah.
What did Wikipedia say?
It said influencer marketing is a form of marketing that has emerged from a variety of recent practices and studies where focus is placed on specific key individuals rather than the target market as a whole.
Yep.
It defines the individuals that have influence over potential buyers or orients marketing activities around these influencers.
Yeah.
Actually, I think that a very good example of influence marketing business is the Kardashian imperium.
Yep.
Because I started to watch Kardashian.
The reality TV.
Reality.
Yep.
Just actually a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, yeah, what is this? You know, somehow it came up to me, and then I was talking to some of my friends and telling that I follow Kardashian. I think it's a cool reality. And then some of my friends said that I don't understand it. Why are they doing it? You know, why are they doing this show even though they have so much money? They wouldn't have to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And another comment was that I don't understand why people follow people who don't do anything else. That the only thing they do is that they are known because they are known. And you know, they have the attitude that they don't know anything or they don't do anything. And then I was thinking that, okay, they have money because it's a marketing company. The whole Kardashian family, it's a marketing company, very smartly built marketing company. And they have money because they have created this huge machine where they get paid from their tweets and from their, you know, if they are present in some situation.
Yep.
And actually Finnish newspaper Helsingin Sanomat, there was this what is toimittajat? Journalist
yep.
who wrote that why people follow people who don't do anything else other than that they are known people. And I was like, wait a minute, you are a writer in this newspaper and people read your things only because you are a writer in newspaper. What's the difference? What's the difference? But if you wouldn't be working in this newspaper, nobody would read your things. But Kardashians, they own the platform. And they can do whatever they want, even though they are working here or working there. And this is that a lot of, for example, companies in our country, we don't get it yet. We don't get it that the whole system is changing, that the platform and the market platform is moving to people who know how to influence and who know how to build this imperium.
If we'll take one Finnish example here, you can think of do you remember who was voted second time in a row the most popular TV person in Finland, sort of like the Grammys of Finland?
Probably.
And second time in a row by Huutokauppakeisari, yes, the auction king of Finland, which is a reality, a guy from somewhere, I don't know actually where, who
in the middle of nowhere.
Middle of nowhere.
Yeah, in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. A second time in a row, people's choice, and I think it's the same thing. I just wonder if there is a huge marketing empire behind Huutokauppakeisari as well.
Yeah, but of course, you know, behind or in front, but he is the marketing. He is the market.
He's the market. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I just mean like he's a brand now. So is it so that he's making loads of money from other things as well? That's what's happening with Kardashians. And I wonder, you know, normally this ends up in a situation that you get your own beer and then you're famous enough because people have a get a beer or some other product named after you, and that's.
But for example, Kardashians, the genius, what is genius about it is that they are not just doing one thing. They just don't have Kardashian lipstick.
Mm-hmm.
They have like everything, they have like everything, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Now they used to have one TV show, but now they have like 5 TV shows, because they have they all have like their own channels, their Instagram and their own apps and everything, and they sell there's like 5 girls, and they all have their private apps, and they sell things from there. So it's like getting bigger and bigger and bigger, because they own the followers. They own the followers, and nobody can take those followers away unless they do something that people don't want to follow anymore.
Yeah. So basically they've created their own platform. They don't have their own channel yet, because traditionally in marketing.
Oh, you mean TV channel?
Well, any channel of communications, any way how to reach people. Traditionally, it's been TV or newspapers. Like if you're a columnist in New York Times, people, you're just famous because of that. If you write more than one, So I wonder if that's the they have this Kardashian thing, and they can actually push that same message to so many different things. They are actually using TV, I believe, and that's their main channel. But like you said, they're also on Instagram and their products, because somehow you need to be able to reach people as well.
They have the TV show, but then they all have like Kourtney Kardashian, who is a top model, for example, Victoria's Secret model. She has 50 million followers in Instagram.
Wow.
50 million followers only in Instagram.
Oh, she's getting onto me soon.
Her sister, Kylie, has 50 million followers on Instagram. They have their personal app. If they post something in Instagram, they have like a new lipstick or a new, sweater. They have check my personal app. And then there's the, go there and you can buy it from here. It's a huge marketplace. 50 million followers. Janne, it's huge.
It's huge. Well, it's only 10 times Finland.
From here, you can communicate with your customers, clients, whatever. And it's 5 people and their mother and their, it's a huge platform. So the TV show, it's only one. Maybe how many in Finland watches Kardashian family, Ilona Rauhala and maybe 100,000 other. But it's the whole globe.
I can actually check you how many people watch Kardashians here during while we're still here. Which TV channel did you say it was on?
I can't even. And now they are starting this I Am Kate, because this father, Bruce Jenner, who is the Olympic winner, he went through this. He changed his. He's a woman now.
Oh.
So now she has her own TV channel or a TV program.
Okay.
I Am Kate. I Am Caitlyn.
Right.
So it's like it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, but people don't get it. They think that why are they doing this even though they have so much money? But they have money because they are doing this. They have built a market machine out of that family, and they are making loads of money, and it has just started.
Yeah. Well, I can actually see here that they are weekly with their TV show on online and direct TV. They are reaching about a bit over 100,000 people
in Finland.
Yeah. But they're actually.
So it's nothing.
It's nothing, and they're actually showing on Ava, which is a very very small channel. But
so it's nothing. But we are a small country and everything.
Yeah.
But I think that their popularity in Finland, it has just maybe started, and we are a small country. But if you think about the big countries, Australia, United States, and maybe the China, I don't know if they are following in China or India, you know. But if they get an app where they would buy even one thing to Indian or Chinese people, even for 1 cent, you know, how much would it be? So this is what fascinates me. This is what fascinates me. It's that the thing in now and in the future is to really build your own media around the issues that you want to represent. Yeah. If Kim Kardashian makes one tweet, she gets paid $25,000 for that one tweet.
That's amazing. That's huge. That's huge. We actually have David online here. David, do you want to join us to chat? We're actually talking about influencer marketing and lately the Kardashian empire, as Ilona described it. Hey, this is the one person. This is someone anonymous. Let's see who it is. King Jesus. Let's see.
Because I just think that there's just so much that.
Okay.
I think that he is in a very happy mood.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you doing influencer marketing?
This must be King Jesus. Hey.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's say bye to King Jesus. Bye.
Bye.
So, what I'm trying to say here is that we underestimate the power of influence, and it doesn't matter what is the way you do influencing. You know, Kardashians do it because they are good looking. You know, they have pretty faces, they have pretty asses, they have whatever. But it's an asset, and it's actually capital when you know how to. Communicate with your customers.
What do you think then? Because there is sort of like a actually research evidence when it's been research about people making buying decisions. Because this is it, like people are actually, because of Kardashians, they are buying Kardashian stuff because they relate to the brand, etc. But then if you actually look at the sales research and studies made about why people buy in general, one of the top, actually the number one reason why people say that they are buying is that if the sales person has enough expertise. So they're actually saying that I'm buying from experts. I prefer to buy from experts. So now there is the question how that relates to that. That's of course. That expertise is perceived expertise, so you think they're experts. But how does that then, in your opinion, sort of like relate to this Kardashian phenomena?
But I think that they are experts in marketing. I think, you know, they are not experts in psychology. They are not experts in building brands or whatever, maybe, or actually they are, because they are building Kardashian brand. And they are experts in doing promotions and PR. They are, and they are experts in the fashion industry and the fashion business and modeling, and they are doing their job very well. They have very high working ethics. They work hard. They work very hard, and their whole life is work actually. So I think that they are, but you know, they don't have academic degrees. They are not like doctors. They are not lawyers. They are not, you know. Of course, their father was a lawyer, very very famous lawyer, Robert Kardashian. But you know, I think that it's changing that what is actually a professional nowadays. Because you are a professional if you know how to do something, even though you don't have some certification or license for it.
Yeah, actually, to be exact, the research doesn't say that they're buying from professionals; they're buying from experts, so people who have the knowledge. So, so that's and being professional is, I think, it's one of the proof of expertise in a way that I'm a PhD in PhDs, so I'm supposed to be an expert, but not necessarily nowadays. So. I've never bought from anyone has PhD in marketing. I knew a few, but they're not really selling. So maybe it's then that could it be so that the Kardashians actually sort of are a brand of, in a way, luxurious and exciting lifestyle? So people sort of like, that's their expertise.
And also in building connections. If you think about, for example, if you think about what I really like in Seth Godin, he talks a lot about that marketing is actually making connections, and you should always be asking yourself that, am I worth connecting?
Yep.
Am I worth connecting? And what makes me worth connecting is maybe because I know Janne Saarikko, or because I know Jani Aaltonen, or whoever, that I'm kind of a connecting point. And I think that Kardashians have really understood that they are just making connections. And that's why people want to hang around with them, is because they have so much connections. And it's a connection machine, actually. And they are charging for that.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. Now, a question: what if I wanted to be a next Kardashian empire or someone else? What do you think they should do? What's the right way from psychology perspective to start building that empire? How do I make people like me?
I think that always when people are asking this question, that how could I make people follow me, is that you have to have something that people want to follow. It's hard to follow somebody if you don't know what you are following. So the first thing is show up and be present, right? Show up, whatever place. Show up if you are in a meeting. Open your mouth. Tell what you are interested about. Show up in social media. Show up wherever you are. Show up and be present and show your work. I think that's the whole thing. And I actually think that it's as simple as that. Show up, be present, and show your work. Show what you are interested about. Show what you are reading. Show what you are discussing. Show what you are thinking about right now. Share. And then people who are interested about the same things, they start to follow because they are interested about what you are interested about.
Exactly.
It's not. It's nothing more complicated. It's as simple as that. Or what do you think about this?
Well, yeah, it's about that. It's about being different. I personally have some sort of like I live around things that are unique, and everything I do, I try to do it differently. But still, if people are doing that, there's like in current days, there used to be like it was quite easy to be different in your own local community, but now, I mean, like there are like 7 billion people who you can influence to, but it also means that there's 1 million people who want to be influencers and want to be different. So it's actually very, very difficult. So,
but not everybody wants to be.
No, only 1 billion out of 7. So.
There are always people who don't want to be influencers. They want to be in back office. It will always be that way.
Yeah. But still, there are so many people looking for attention that it's ridiculous. I see it even in Finland, our tiny country. I can see how people are desperately trying to sort of like get attention to do different things.
How do you see it?
I see it. I see it in a way. For example, there are Finns are not very good in this type of communication, like doing live, etc. But still, there are people trying to do that. they try to be loud in different events, which is good. Then they are actually looking for sort of like to challenge people in different places, and I think they do that on purpose because then after the event the challenging goes away. But then also the thing where Finns are pretty good at is and sort of like Northern Europeans are pretty good at is to create materials, for example. So if you take a look at, let's say, SlideShare, which is full of this how to do this and how to do that guides, that when you look at them, it's like, okay, so it's not really that special, but people are just doing that, and some people are actually creating loads of them, and they're not necessarily really that useful to most of the people, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I see. And it also starts. Well, one example in LinkedIn, you have all these groups. People are setting up all these groups around different topics, and if it doesn't fly in a week, then they just go and do something else, and etc. etc. So
that's a good thing. If it doesn't fly in a week, nothing flies in a week. It's like you are building your stack, every day, and you're building it, and I think that it's not just quantity. It's also quality, because even though you would make 100 movies, but if the movie is bad, no one is going to come and watch it. But if you are Steven Spielberg and your movies are just great, the quality is good. So I think that it's not just doing it now because now you have to be in everywhere and do everything, but we really need to be careful that we also bring good quality.
Exactly.
And pay attention to the quality side.
How would you define quality? What's good quality? I mean, like, we just had King Jesus there with us for a second. Was that good quality?
Actually, I think that's a great question. What do you think? What was King Jesus actually doing? We don't know who King Jesus. Maybe he has 2,000.
Well, let's see. I think I can.
200,000 followers in Saudi Arabia or whatever. Maybe he's some kind of
Well, he's got one follower.
Yeah, okay. But now we remember him.
That's true.
At least two people we remember him.
Yeah, he left his mark. I assume. I'm not actually quite sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe there was more kind of entertainment there than expertise.
Yeah. What about the Kardashians then? What do you think? You've obviously studied them a little bit.
I must admit I have studied now a lot, and it's both sides. Okay, Kim Kardashian is actually married to Kanye West, who is a fashion designer. He has just designed shoes for Louis Vuitton and Adidas, and he's a rap artist, and and then this
by the way.
And this father, Bruce Jenner, he used to win Olympics. He's like a great athlete icon, and now he is doing a lot of influencing in this trans people's community in the United States, and he has been given a lot of these interviews where he shares that because he has this platform, he wants to do something with it, he wants to do something, and he wants to influence in trans people because he knows that the suicide rate is very high within those people. So I think that now when they have been building up this machine, and now they are growing, and of course they are also asking that what is the point of all this? Okay, they are getting tons of money, but then what? So I'm sure that they are coming to this question that, okay, what do they want to bring to the world? And we know about celebrities, that there are these celebrities that they die too early, and then there are these celebrities that start to contribute in some issues. I wouldn't be surprised if some of them would be an American president or whatever one day. I mean, I think that everything is possible because it's all about followership and how you play your position. The story is not finished. It's just started. So how do they build who would have known about Arnold Schwarzenegger or whatever? What are they going to come when they grow older? What are they going to do with the fame that they built?
Yeah. So does it mean that they're sort of like if you look at the history, it's quite obvious that you had to be someone or belong to something before you could become anyone meaningful or big. In most of the cases, there was sort of like this part of the people who became presidents and their sons became presidents and etc. Well, it has happened in the US quite lately as well. So is it now so that sort of like the reason why someone is being influential and has authority is changing? Also, another thing, like people used to have certain roles. I think that still applies up to a level where if you have a title of sorts, whether it's through education or your position in some organization, that's useful. Is it going to be changing now? There's a lot of actually examples of people who 20 years ago they would have been, with what they've been doing, they would have been nobodies and absolutely no chance to get anywhere. And now that type of people are celebrities, are making a lot of money, are being very popular, are actually changing the world in many ways.
Yeah, I think it is, but I think it is, but we tend to think that these are some kind of a quick hits, that now somebody just became a celebrity overnight. But of course it's changing, because the possibility of building this kind of, the logic has changed, because you can reach through these digital channels people from all around the world. For example, back in history, you had to ride your horse to connect with somebody in the next city, and it took many days to travel and everything. So it was slower. Now you can make it quicker. But if you think about this Kardashian imperium, it didn't happen overnight. Bruce won his gold medals in 1972. It's 40 years ago. Or Robert Kardashian, the father of this family, he's this lawyer who represented this, what is this, Simpson, this very famous, some crime episode in the United States.
O.J. Simpson, you mean?
Yeah. So he was a lawyer, and he became famous because of that. And it happened also back in 70s. So it's 40 years ago.
No, O.J. Simpson was in the 80s, late 80s.
80s, 30 years ago. 30 years ago. Yeah. Okay. 40 years ago, 30 years ago, and now they started this TV show like 10 or 15 years ago. But there is some background, some history, that they realized that, okay, we have this platform, let's do something. But for sure, they didn't know 10 or 15 years ago what would happen in the future with all the Twitters and Instagram and Facebook and social media, because it didn't happen that way. It was just some TV series in some small channel, somebody watched it. But then Kim Kardashian became a model, and then, so it didn't happen overnight, because there's a lot of history behind it. So that's what I'm saying. What my point is that if you want to become influencer marketer and you don't have like 10,000 followers overnight or in a week when you created your LinkedIn, group, keep it 1 year, keep it 2 years, 3 years, make it 10 years, 30 years. It's persistent work, and you have to learn it, and you need to also be persistent, so that because people also wonder that, can I rely these people, if I want to follow this, will she or he be there for me after 5 years? Is this person worth following?
Good point.
So it's work. It's not just coincidence.
Yeah.
How do you say it? Coincidence.
Yeah.
Even though it seems to us, because somebody pops into our, reality overnight. For example, a month ago, I didn't know who these Kardashians were because I wasn't interested about Kim Kardashian's big ass.
Yeah.
But then it just all came to me, and I found this world, and I was like, whoa, this is huge. And, for me, it happened overnight, but for them, 40 years.
Wow. Are there any other examples like that? Anyone else you can think of?
What is yours?
I don't know. I'm just thinking of, for some reason, I'm thinking that examples from the people from Finland and people who've sort of like tried to do some of that. They actually, most of them have ended up in a really bad situation with their lives in general, because they've been killed by the media, and I believe partly it's some sort of like jealousy thing that's been going on with them.
Would you be comfortable mentioning a name, dropping a name?
Well, okay. Okay. Let's talk about. Okay, I'll give you a couple of different examples, because I don't want to sort of like name it to anyone, but the names that sort of like a very different cases, who actually then still didn't create a huge empire in a way, but sort of have faded away in one way. There's extreme. There is from Finland. There is Johanna Tukiainen is one example.
Yeah, very. Yeah, actually, I know this story very well, because that time I wanted to understand everything about this phenomenon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then there is another person who is sort of like goes there as a professional. Used to be very popular in Finland. Marko. Oh, what's this? Oh, what's his last name? Oh, come on. This TV host, Marko Bjurström. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Marko Bjurström.
Marko Bjurström, yes. Yeah. And actually a third example, a person who you know as well is Esa Saarinen, which is an interesting example. He used to be like a really popular and sort of like a big celebrity. I mean, like he's a cool guy. But I mean, what happened with his sort of like fame, which, well, I know that he's been respected as a professional.
He's very respected. Let's face it, he's very respected. But I think what is...
But he's not on TV every day. He's not making millions of money.
I think what the point is, and what we here in Finland should understand, that our marketplace, our language, Finnish language, this is so small that you can only expand to a certain point, and then people get tired, because people who have gotten you and they have gotten your story, and they have sucked everything out of you, then they are ready with you, and then they want to find something new and something else. So 5 million people isn't enough to keep somebody. You can't make it, you can't spread your it doesn't scale.
Yeah.
In Finland, it doesn't scale. So I think that is the tragedy in our country, that when we try to do things in Finnish language, it's like it's 5 to 8 years in media, and your story is gone. You've given everything.
Yeah.
And then that's it. It's the same with musicians. So I think that the main point, that if we want to understand this influencer marketing, we need to understand that the world is not here in Finland, but the world is out there.
Well, we actually have good
out there, and we need to see that the marketplace is the whole globe. Otherwise, 5-8 years, then it's gone.
Yeah. So actually, we have some good positive examples in the musician part, in the young musicians. Let's take Isaac Elliott for one example, who people in Finland think like, well, he's this young teenage boy who does this and that, and he's actually very popular in many other countries that we've never heard of. Or this other guy, just lost his name as well, who actually became this Instagram popularity, and now I think his latest record has sold like gold in Spain or something like that, and he's like,
and that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great.
And yeah, it's just Benjamin Peltonen. Yeah, that's
Benjamin Peltonen. Yeah, Instagram. who became, he's an Instagram star. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So could we say, if like Finland is too small of a market, does it mean that we would actually could see Johanna Tukiainen as a phenomena, sort of like a situation where you sort of like try harder and harder to achieve something which will not work anymore, so you sort of like get desperate in some ways? This is just my
you become desperate because you kind of, once you have eaten enough sushi, you don't want to have sushi, anymore. If you had it enough, you start to like, even when you hear the word sushi, you are like, oh, I don't want to have sushi anymore, because you have had enough. And that's what happens in a country where we live. It's so small country that after a certain time or certain years, people just, they are full of you. And then it starts to seem a little bit desperate if you continue, doing the same thing.
So actually too much exposure is too much.
Yeah. yeah. Too much is too much. Yeah. I think we are soon ready with our time, but what are you aware of right now when we have been talking about influencer marketing and about these issues? Did we stay in topic, or did we get any wiser?
I actually think it's just like strengthened at least my sort of like perceptions and ideas, sort of like coming from your angle, where sort of like agreed on a lot of things. I believe I've learned some new stuff as well. I hope you have as well. Yeah. What I'm seeing here, I'm also thinking, because the original reason for starting this was really to check out this Blab thing. And well, we've had some viewers here. We have the number shows 34 at the moment. It's not a lot, but then again, it's a good start. It's a good start, for the first time. Yeah, and then there's going to be this recording here. So and we really didn't do any marketing for this, because we started. The first message went out like 5 hours ago, so that's also pretty okay. So I think we should actually try this again sometime.
I want to, and Janne, I actually want to thank you a lot, because you have influenced me and my career a lot. I remember back in 10 or 8 years when I started my television show, and I was all, in this Finnish national TV channel, and I was very confused at what is this and everything. And I remember getting some very important advices from you, and understanding a lot of issues. And I've been learning from you during these years. And now I'm very insecure about my English language and working in English. And I've been struggling with this issue for years. And now I think that, that we had this little practice, I'm kind of very hopeful. But God, this is the way to test and do something, and then maybe I really want to do something with you again and test these new channels and new ways of discussing.
Wow. Okay, that sounds like a big thing to say. I actually have to tell you that I've been learning a lot from you actually about people in different times and discussions we've had. Maybe sometimes we'll write a book about those sometimes interesting discussions and even debates. We've been disagreeing on something sometimes. It's been very, very interesting. But I actually think about this format here. I sort of like feel that there should be someone sitting there as well. So maybe we should actually
and there.
And we should invite someone to actually join us for these things. So I mean, like we could actually fit in a third or maybe fourth person here as well. And we have Tammy Gifford. Hey Tammy, we're about to end this session soon, but if you wanted to say something, we've been talking about influencer marketing and the Kardashian empire and some other stuff. So if you're interested in, I think we can spare a couple of minutes still.
Tammy, okay. How is your next Friday?
I don't know. Let's see. I think it's the last day of the working week, at least. I could probably do next Friday as well, the same time. No,
let's do it 4.
Yeah, maybe 4 o'clock, so we could actually get some people from the US. I actually thought everyone in the US are actually sort of like getting up at 5 a.m. to check their emails, but obviously not. So we could actually try. Then the thing is, let's talk about it. Maybe next Friday
at
4 p.m. Finnish time, 3 p.m. European time, and that would be then to give sort of like a touch point for US. That would be 7 hours. So it's 9 a.m. US East Coast time.
And hashtags would be like topics. It's like marketing, influencing, psychology, being present in, all these topic something. Let's think about this and we'll inform.
And follow her on Twitter. That's
and follow. Are you there or there? For me, you are there.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm now pointing at you.
Yeah, and I'm pointing at you.
Okay. All right. So follow her. And on Twitter, Ilona Rauhala. It's also your profile there. So
and also in Instagram and
all over the places.
Ilona Rauhala. Yeah. And follow Janne Saarikko. Yeah. Thank you, Janne. It was very nice having this dialogue with you, and we'll see maybe next Friday. Anyway, we'll see.
Yes. All right. Take care.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye. The question